Hi, Namaste, and welcome to Breakout with me, Abha. Thank you so much for watching. As you know, we are committed on this show to bring to you exceptional game changers, thought leaders, thought transformers, and people who've been there and done that. And guess what? They have agreed to demystify this whole success game, the rules game for us, so we can break out of what we find limiting and break into something that we find absolutely necessary for us. From them, we learn something very important, and that is that there are no rules to life. That is the one rule to life. That is, there are no rules to life. We just make them up all on the way because everything is figure outable. So I said exceptional people. Today we have with us one exceptional woman who has who has got so many degrees. I got to read all of them out because I could not remember them. She holds a Master's of Science in Economics from Copenhagen Business School and has completed additional executive management education at INSEAD in France and Singapore and Henley Business School in the UK. She wasn't satisfied with one place. She has lived in Copenhagen, London, and Cannes, and now runs her consulting business from New York City. She is certified in extended DISC tests, situational leadership, emotional intelligence tests, and all the other things that she can possibly do to build leadership and teams and high performance boards. She serves as an active member on several boards, including the American Scandinavian Society, and as chairman for the American Friends of the Danish National Gallery. She was also the chairman of the BECK RORVIG Ballet Foundation and the co-chair of the Distinguished Leadership Committee at Columbia Business School Alumni Club New York. Further, she's on the Global Advisory Board for World Pulse. Please welcome LENA BECK RORVIG. LENA, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I am good, thank you so much. Have I missed out anything there?
It's very accurate.
Okay, Lena, you are a very successful person as a leadership coach, as a team coach, as a high performance consultant, board consultant, in building collaborative partnerships with senior corporate executives, board of directors, and coach leaders. So as I know, as I understand what you do, you are a combination of a visionary operative executive, a turnaround specialist, and a strategist who can turn around businesses. Please tell us more about your work, your consulting company, where it all got started out, and you're doing so many things. How do you manage to do that?
Yes, so how did it start out? Let me start there. My initial idea is that I have, through my work, seen a lot of amazing managers and leaders, but I unfortunately have also seen a lot of who's not so good.
Right.
So, and I can see the impact it has on the employees and their performance and on the business. So my vision is to really create better leaders and managers for businesses, so we can have more happy and satisfied employees and, of course, a better business.
Right. So you've been working with leaders, you're working with managers. You have this knack through all your work that you've been doing to get them to a point of clarity to perform well. Now,
Yes.
as a high performance coach, it's almost like a peak performance coach. Have you also worked with people who are in a high performance game, like sports people or otherwise?
No, I haven't worked with sports people. I've purely concentrated on businesses.
On businesses. So
Yes.
very you've also founded some very interesting organizations, and I want to take you to one which interests me most, which is Bragging for Women,
Yes.
to help women overcome their personal barriers and teach women their own authentic way of promoting themselves. Now, I've written a book on women's leadership, where I think I have also clearly sort of focused on that area of how women should go out and clearly know how to authentically promote themselves. I want you to elaborate on this as much as you can for all my women viewers out there to see what they need to do.
Yeah, so bragging for women came out because I meet all these amazing women. But what I also see through, conversations with them and through my coaching with them and training leadership for women is that they don't promote themselves enough to really get ahead in business.
Right.
So I would like to empower these women and change the game for them so they can actually get those leadership positions. And again, for the businesses, so we can have more diversity and we can really use the talent that is out there.
Right. Yes.
No, go ahead.
Please go on.
Yeah, so the concept builds on the idea that we start with themselves, the inner self. So why is it they can't brag? Why can't they put themselves forward?
Right.
To why does it feel so uncomfortable doing it? So we train them in actually to get to know that feeling, and it's not so bad.
Right.
Over to what are the tricks and tools that they should use, to how should they build a strategic network so people actually also do notice them, the right people notice them. Right. And the last part is what happens when you go from one leadership level to the next, because the dynamics change substantially. So what happens? So they're prepared from within all the way to the top.
Right. So when we're doing this bragging for women thing, as I understand, and I've been seeing this world over with women, that they have so much talent, they have so many skills, and but they have been conditioned to restrict in some ways their own expression. So we are moving away from just the part of the corporate world, but in pure expression, women find it difficult to speak out in ways that make them look or sound bigger. And a lot of times I've interviewed and spoken to so many women across the world. They deal with this imposter syndrome all the time, thinking that they are not in a position to go out and show to the world who they really are. And if they do, people doubt their ability to do what they're doing.
Exactly. It's so spot on, and that is exactly what I want to change. And of course, we also do work with the companies to change their unconscious bias. Right. But where I see the big impact is when I work with the women themselves, because then they change and then the surroundings change with them. So it's very important that we work with the individual women to make them change and feel comfortable, get rid of the imposter syndrome, get more self-confidence, know that you are not alone. A lot of women have the same feelings and go through the same things. And just knowing that you are not alone, other women do the same, it actually makes you brave and you put yourself forward.
I completely agree. And I think the more we get together, the more we speak out and the more we speak with each other, I think we will realize that all of us have at some point gone through something like this and gotten out of it, and we are doing pretty okay. You yourself have transitioned your career thrice, from finance to HR and then to running your own consulting company, where you're also running all these other things like bragging for women, and you're doing a show out there. Tell us about all that. How were these transitions? Were these transitions easy for you? Were these transitions so that the viewers can see that it's not always as difficult to think of a transition? Because a lot of people hate the idea of change. They cannot bring themselves to a place where they say, okay, this is possible for me. But if LENA can do it, Lena can do it, everybody can. So we want to hear from you. What happened?
Yes. What happened with me was that I more or less by coincidence came to my first career, as most young people do. And then I thought, no, I would like to do something else. And when I have transitioned from one position to the other, I do it a little bit slowly. I prepare myself. Maybe I study it a little more, or I read about it. I get to know people. And then slowly I transition. And what I think people have to realize when they transition from one position to another is that sometimes you have to take a little bit of a step back. It doesn't have to be a big step back, but maybe just a little step back. But because of your experience, you will very quickly move forward. Right. So I think that is transitioning. You will always take your experience from one position to the next. And the older I get, the more amazing it is to see that I actually use a lot of the things that I've learned, from my first position in finance to the second. So I take it all with me. Right. So even though when you're in the middle of it, you think, oh, I can't use anything I learned from my previous career to my next career. It's not true, because you take all that with you. Right. So I think to transition, the best thing is to really just start to investigate what is it you would like to do, find out what is it I need to know, how can I get to know the right people, and then that way transition in.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people just confine their personalities to what they are doing. So
Yes.
moving away from that is like a huge thing. So you rightly say, just back off a little bit, not like big steps backwards, but I
Yeah.
think if we just back off, we can clearly see the big picture and see
Yes.
where we stand, where we need to move, and it needs a little bit of work, but it all falls in place if we are prepared for transitioning and for change. Now you have a program called Show Your Worth,
Yes.
which gives women tools and guidance and encouragement to help them evolve into their most authentic self. Tell us about that program. Tell us where we can watch it. Tell us how can I get on that program?
You can get on that program, but right now we do it live, so it's we can do it via Skype, but we also do it live, so everybody can get on that program. And it's Show Your Worth. We can do it anything from coaching sessions
Right.
to actual workshops, or to companies where we go in the companies and work with the companies and have this program for the women in the organizations.
Right. So are you also using it for enhancing the female talent in companies? That's what you
Yes,
said. Okay.
exactly.
So
Yes, we are.
right. So this is great. So I think you must look out for Lena Beck RORVIG and her program called Show Your Worth, because she's doing this especially for women organizations that are looking for enhancing their female talent, raising their female talent, coaching their female talent to become either leaders or just stepping up and going out there and bringing their best skills and talents forward. She is the lady to speak with.
Thank
Okay.
you. Can I just have one comment for that as
Yes,
well?
please.
It's because I think what is really important for companies to realize and for women to realize that learning this is a skill like learning another language, learning, to do a presentation or anything else. It's a skill that can be learned. There's nothing more to it.
Right.
So
Right. So for the bragging of women, I wanted to ask you, whenever we're working around women, there is this whole impression that we are also working against men. Which is something that I face all the time. That they say, "Oh, you're a feminist." I said, "Okay, you call me whatever you want to." That is not the idea there. It's not against women, against men, but it is pro women. It is just raising women from whatever place they are in to a higher step in their space, not intervening into men's space. What do you have to say about that?
I am so in line. I actually start all my workshops saying that this is nothing to do with against anyone. This is actually just because women need these special skills. So again, it's if you want to get ahead in your career, you need to learn some different skills.
Right.
And the Show Your Worth program, the Bragging for Women, is one of those skills that women need to move ahead in their career.
Right.
There's men. I've actually never used men, not even in when we talk about what you should learn in the program. I never say this is how men do it. You should do the same, because my philosophy is that if women wanted to be like men, we would have been it a long time ago.
Right.
So we don't want to be. We want to be authentic, as you started out saying, and so you also written a book about. We want to be authentic. We want to be ourselves. We just need to bring that even further out, so people can see it.
That's so true. And I think even in my book, I've invited men to come in and help us live that authenticity,
Yes.
because it's
Yeah.
important that this is like 50% of the world's population. We can't leave them aside. But
Absolutely not.
they just need to embrace the part that women now have begun to live in their
Yes.
own authenticity. So this is great. So everybody should go look at Lena's work and find out more about what she's doing at Bragging for Women, and also at Show Your Worth. That's the program that she's running, which is an amazing program for women in your organization. Lena, tell me, you're also the CEO and founder of BECK Global Consulting.
Yes.
You're running this from New York City?
Yes,
And
New York City and Copenhagen.
and Copenhagen, yes.
Mostly, yeah.
So you're the services that you provide over there is leadership development, executive coaching, team development. That is the key things when it comes to
Yes.
corporates, and of course your Bragging for Women is there, and high performance board.
Yes.
Because we've heard of leadership development, executive coaching, etc. Team building is going on for a long time. Tell me about the high performance board part, because this is something that a lot of people would want to know as far as your work is concerned. Because
Yes.
this is something that is, at this point of time, the boards have become, at one point they were in the background, Now we've got boards where more discussions are happening, and even for women, we're now wanting women in the boards, and women are coming into the boards. How do you create a high performance board?
Yes, what the idea came because I see so many boards that it's extremely skilled people on boards.
Right.
A lot of times they don't work as a team.
Right.
So when I was taking my team coach education at Henley Business School, I was sitting there thinking, so what do we actually do with the boards? They seldom work as a team.
Right.
And that's why I came up with the idea for the high performance board team. And using each other's skills in a real teamwork, taking that to the board can really facilitate, get all the ideas to the table, and also make it. There's another part to it is also that people get to know each other much better on the board and find out what do he know and what do she knows. So they start using all that amazing knowledge that is gathered around at the table in the boardrooms.
Right.
It's about getting the team to work getting the board to work as a team, but it's also about structuring the teams correctly. So instead of starting off who do we know, it's about what do we need.
Right.
So you actually start out finding out what skills and competences is needed for the strategy and for the goals and for the situation the company is in, or the organization if it's a non-for-profit.
Right.
And then what do we need on the board? So that's where we start. And then, of course, we take it from there, get the right skills and competencies on the board, find the right people based on that, and then work with the board so they can work as a team, really utilizing all their skills for the benefit of the company or the organization.
Right, and I think because we've heard of team building more in terms of the employee engagement and in terms of results, but not so much in terms of boards. So this is different. And usually boards are more about advisory and more about getting together at certain times of the year to make sure that things are on paper everything is all right. But working as a team is not usually what the boards do. So this is really, really nice.
It also makes it much more fun to be on a board because you actually do know who is your peers and you know them, and you start to also find out what they know, and then the brainstorming can really evolve.
Right. I think that's amazing. Tell me, Lena, how do people find you? Where are we looking for you? If we need to seek help from you, if we need you to come and help us with all this big stuff that you've done, where do people find you?
You can find me on my website, beckglobalconsulting.com, or especially for the women's program, braggingforwomen.com.
Right.
And you can also find me there on my email and my phone. And so feel free to mail or call, no problem.
Feel free, viewers, to speak with Lena because she is one amazing woman and she can really help you achieve your high performance goals in such a smooth way, because she has this knack for working with leaders and people who, to get their inner authenticity out, not just with women, but also with people who are sitting on the highest levels of boards and teams and whatever. So, Lena, I want to ask you, do you have a big vision around here? Because you're talking about leadership, we're talking about women. Do you have a vision for women, just not about bringing their authentic selves out? Is there a big vision out there for the larger sense of humanity, if we can talk about that?
For me, my vision is really, and my dream is a workplace where we choose the ones who come to work purely on their merits, not on their, who they know or how they look or anything else but their merits. That's what we're looking for. And that's, of course, it's both professional and personally. So this is what we're chosen for. If it's on boards, if it's for women, if it's for men, everywhere we go, we're chosen for our merits and not for nothing else. That is my dream.
I think meritocracy is very, very apt and important for us to be able to live as dignified individuals, because I think everybody works hard, everybody works well, and everybody wants to be growing most of the time. So I think merit is where competition should be. Otherwise, we compete very poorly.
Exactly.
Compete and compare so poorly that a lot of people don't understand that merit is something that we need to work on. Value is something we need to work on. So this is very, very nice. Now, I want to take you back to your background. Before starting your own consulting company, you've worked in global companies within industries like IT, oil, real estate, TV and film production, and medical devices. And my God, and now you have consulted with businesses of railroad, housing, administration, art, management, consulting, PR, fashion, and non-profits. What have you not done so far?
What have I? Aerospace. I haven't done aerospace.
Aerospace, oh, yeah, that's in your bucket list, aerospace. So if
Yeah, no.
anybody watching Lena, she's looking for experience in aerospace, and I'm sure she can add a lot of value over there. You've done a lot, Lena. I'm inspired by how you are and how you work. What advice do you give to women out there? Because it's important for them to be able to literally embrace everything that they can possibly do, and that's where the confidence comes in. So
Yes.
what would be your advice and your suggestion to women out there to go out there and do
I would.
as much as you can?
Yes, I would give a little bit of an in political correct answer to that, because
That's
I
all
think the
right.
most important.
We like politically incorrect answers over here.
So I think they shouldn't care.
Yeah.
Stop caring so much. Stop caring if you're likable or not likable. Stop caring, because be yourself. And women and all men as well, we all know who we are inside, and we know what we are capable of. But a
Right.
lot of time it's because we care about what other people think, and if they like us or don't like us, and can I do it? Or what if I fail?
Right.
All these questions we torture ourselves with. So stop caring so much and try it out. The world won't fall apart.
Right.
And then find some really good supporters, because we all have some very good supporters close to us, and sometimes we forget, and they are the most important people in our lives. So if they will support you no matter what, and they will support that you actually try out some new things and something you haven't tried before. So don't care so much.
Right. So if you're listening to Lena, watching her now, never sell yourself short. You know who you are, and she runs this thing called Bragging for Women. You can find out at braggingforwomen.com, where she teaches everybody and all women out there to be their authentic selves. Do not short sell yourself. Go out there, express yourself, be your real self, and let people see the value that you can bring to the table, and that is very important. If I were to just take you away from this whole corporate thing and just focus on the part of the human side of women, where we are conditioned to be less than we are. There's a certain way
Mm.
women are supposed to be, and like you rightly mentioned, we should stop caring about what people think about us, whether we are liked or not liked. But that is probably easier said than done. A lot
Mm.
of people, a lot of women, because of the way they are conditioned, they are told that they would be liked in a certain way, and we are so focused on the physical at the moment. There's such a huge focus on your physical appearance that your likes and dislikes and how you're liked and not liked, it boils down pretty much to the very small portion of who you are. How do we tackle that?
It's a very, very big question you are you are asking there, but I think it has to come from within.
Right.
And I think that I see a lot of women's networking group pops up everywhere. In New
Right.
York, there's a lot of them, but I also see it in Copenhagen now starting to come, and I see it in France. I see it a lot of places in London. They are all over the place, women. And I think women's network, like World Pulse, is an amazing organization where women can actually go and meet other women online. So seek out the other women, because if you seek out other women, you find out that you're not alone. And I think that is the most important thing you can do, is finding out you're not alone with anything. You have supporters, and you have a lot of women who have the same dreams as you have. So you are not alone doing that and trying to change the world.
Right. So I think you said World Pulse, the organization, the
World Pulse,
networking
yes.
World Pulse. Where is it? Is there because I don't have the website address of that one.
It's a worldpulse.org. O-I-G.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
www.worldpulse.org.
Worldpulse.org. Yeah. Yeah.
WORLDPULSE.org for
Yeah.
networking, and women can go up there
Yeah.
and see. There are a lot of opportunities for us now to connect with each other, especially through technology. Me and Lena are
Yes.
talking from different parts of the world today,
Yeah.
and we have these opportunities today which we did not have 20 years ago. So please make best use of that opportunity. Go out, connect with other women, find support groups. There are people out there who are going through the same stuff that we are going through, and I think they'll all be very happy to help each other and support each other. So Lena,
Absolutely.
also taking you back to show your worth one more time.
Yes.
This is something that and we've spoken about authenticity, but show your worth and bragging for women are pretty much about asking women to go out there and present themselves in ways that shows their best sides or the real sides?
It's just showing their skills, showing people what they can do.
Right.
So it's about, and they shouldn't pretend to be someone else, but they need to show people what they can do. Otherwise, people won't notice them.
Right. So yeah, please.
Yeah. So if you it doesn't matter how good you are. You know, people can have the most amazing idea. Nobody noticed. The idea doesn't help anyone.
Right.
So it's the same with women and their skills. They really need to learn to go out and show people and tell people about it, and make sure that those who should notice have noticed it.
Right, right. And what would be a key mantra? We're talking about breakout here because you've sort of broken out of a lot of stuff and you're doing a lot of stuff. So what would be a key mantra and philosophy if I were to ask you to help people understand that it's not so difficult to break out of stuff that is not comfortable or not working for us?
My key mantra, that is a good question. What would be the key mantra? I think it's try and error, because I think that if you never try, you know what, there was this survey, way back saying, what do people regret when they are old? And they regret they didn't try whatever it was they wanted to try.
Right.
And I think that's exactly what is the key mantra. Try it, because if you don't try, you will regret. You will never regret you tried, because you will be proud that you actually did try. And you will, as you say, find out, is it maybe not so difficult?
Right.
And then, of course, making the ask, because you have to ask. If you want a promotion, ask for it.
Right.
Say you want it. Say, this is your ambition. This is my dream. So people know, because sometimes people just forget. It's not because they don't want to promote you. Right. They just kind of forget. It's not because they're bad people. It's just because you haven't told them.
Right.
So you have to tell them. You have to make the ask.
Right. I think that's a great thing to say as a key mantra, because we've heard these things like try until you succeed. But in my son's school, one teacher used to say, try until you die. It was, so we used to laugh and say, yes, because people, if you do not try, you will never be able to know whether this particular thing could or could not happen. And that is why your mantra, this is LENA BECK RORVIG's mantra, saying trial and error, go try it out. Make sure that you learn how to go understand the trial and error part of the process of success and the process of breaking out of things that are not comfortable for you. So LENA, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
So grateful for you being here. People can look for you at beckconsulting.com, is it? BECK Global Consulting. So this is www.beckglobalconsulting.com. Look for Nina at braggingforwomen.com. Also go to worldpearls.org. That's for the networking for women, where you'll find all kinds of things for women, supporting women support. And look for LENA on those websites, because she's one of the best consultants that one can have on leadership and on team building. And she started this whole thing about having a high performance board. Boards were supposed to just give advice and sit 3 times a year to say everything is all right. Now LENA has gone in there to say, no, everything is not all right. We can make it just a lot more better. So LENA, thank you so much for bringing.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.